when I was excited to show you guys, I had a piece of gold on my finger, and then I just dropped it right in the dirt. Hey y'all, thanks for joining. I'm going to show you how I set up my Knox 800 to look for gold. If you just want to skip ahead to me finding a nice little Colorado nugget, it's about minutes 18 to 24. Right there. Damn it, I dropped it. Hey y'all, this is Brandon. I'm out doing some metal detecting today. I've got my Minelab Equinox 800. 6-inch coil on there. I'm gonna grab the camera and give you guys an idea of the settings I use. Now, I spent last winter in Arizona. That was my first season detecting for gold. I've only used this detector, and after, let's be honest, it took me a couple months. Pretty quickly in Arizona, I found a nice 1-gram nugget. Then it was a while, 20, 30, 40 hours more until I got dialed into the fine points and regularly able to find 0.1 to 0.02 gram pieces of gold. We're talking about the size of a pinhead or the size of a piece of rice or half a piece of rice. Now, I'm here in Colorado today, and a lot of people are like, it's not worth using your detector here in Colorado, but I've already found 2 pieces of gold at this area where I'm at. It's late in the fall, winter's coming, it's dried up here, and I'm back today to have a look around. Now, I don't know if I'll find anything, maybe I'll get lucky, but I want to show you guys, if you're just learning the Knox 800 or just learning the Knox 800 for gold, I will show you the settings. It was a hard-earned learning curve for me, but I'm going to give you guys the secrets, what I know, how to set up your Knox to look for little gold. All right, let's do it. All right, let's learn how to turn on the Knox and get it set up for swinging for gold. So I'm going to turn on. Now, you guys saw before I got on my Minelab headphones, but I'm going to leave headphones off for now, so you guys get to hear the sounds, see how things are set up. So, if I go in there, you will see I am in Park 2. I hadn't been swinging for gold much lately, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to, sorry about coming and going from the shade, I'm going to go over to Gold 1. Now, the first thing I do every time I turn my metal detector on is I noise cancel. So, function button, noise cancel, select. All right, now that deals with magnetic interference here. There's some power lines a couple hundred yards away from me. That could be it, but always noise cancel when you turn on. If things get a little weird during the day, don't be afraid to noise cancel again. Now, I'm gonna go again for ground balance. Now, gold mode has auto ground balance tracking on. That's what the squiggly horizontal symbol is up there, but I always ground balance at the start. So I'm in ground balance. I'm going to press and hold the check button, then pump my coil over some ground. So Equinox doesn't think this ground's too bad, stays at 1. That is perfect. Go again. Volume adjust. I'm on 25. I'm gonna leave it turned up. Like I say, I usually got my headphones on, but I'm gonna leave it nice and high so you guys can hear. Now, threshold level. If I turn that way up, you guys hear a tone. Now that tone you hear, that is not the default threshold tone for Equinox Gold mode. Now I'm not going to change it now, but the sub level is press and hold the button, go to the sub level, a threshold volume. You can change the threshold tone. So I've changed it for a tone that sounds good to my ear. When I have my headphones on, I turn the volume down right till I can barely hear that threshold tone, because the smallest gold doesn't always ring up with a VDI and doesn't always make that strong a sound, but it will for sure interrupt the threshold tone. One more press, that's number of tones. Let's stick with 1. accept reject. So what you can see here is I've notched out most of the minus numbers, but -2 and -1 and 0 are still there for me. Most small gold rings up as 1 or 2. It might ring up as -2, -1. So I keep -2 and -1. Now, you'll notice I've not notched out any of the midtones. Now in Arizona, it's really common for me to notch out 10, 11, 12, 13. Here in Colorado, there's a good chance I'm going to end up notching out 12, 13, 11, 12, 13 if I'm getting a lot of hot rocks. So those mid-tones, when I start swinging, I'm probably going to get a lot of 12, 13 hot rocks. I will notch those out if I can't adjust things to get rid of those. And one more thing. All right, I'm on recovery speed 5. That goes anywhere from 2 all the way on up. I think the default is 6. I got this small coil and I'm gonna swing pretty slow, so I'm gonna go down to 5. What you guys just need to know is if you swing fast, go with a high recovery speed. If you swing slow, go with a lower recovery speed. You'll figure it out a little bit beyond there. All right, I'm gonna press the button. We're now in detect mode. Let's see. We get some signals. Sure enough, 13, that's probably a hot rock. Just so I will tune in a little more to show you some fine details of detecting. The only other thing, once I'm in detect mode, let's see what my sensitivity is. I'm on 17 from the last time I was in the park. I'm going to go up to 20, and I'm going to stay there. If it's too noisy, I'll turn the sensitivity down. If it's not noisy at all, I'll crank the sensitivity up. Now, the settings you'll hear a lot of people say changing are iron bias. You didn't see me click over there to those. Just leave those alone at first. So, horseshoe turned off because I know there's a good bit of iron here. Iron scrap in these tailings I'm detecting. So, horseshoe off. Iron bias settings I'm not fooling around with. You saw all those settings, I'm ready to swing. All right, you guys, I'm ready to swing now. I got my headphones on. I turned the volume down so I can hear that threshold tone. The lowest volume that I can hear that steady threshold tone. I don't want it to be loud, but I want to be able to hear it. And the wind's blowing a little bit today, so I've got it 1 notch higher. Now, behind me over here, where you see me putting the coil, this is a spot I've dug before, sluicing, and got a good number of little pickers where this old tailings layer sits on that white compact clay layer. So I'm gonna swing over there, mostly for you guys. I'm on a recovery speed of 5. I'm gonna give you an idea how fast I swing the coil, and for sure, I'm gonna swing it from 2 different directions. I'm gonna go over the area I wanna detect. I'm listening for any changes to the threshold tone. God willing, I'll get some beeps at 0, 1, or 2. Heck, maybe even 3 or 4. 3 or 4 could be a quarter or half gram piece. But here I'm being realistic. I'm really listening for a 1 or 2, which would be a 0.03 to 0.1, 0.15 gram. Little picker of gold. Let's give it a whirl. Ooh, so at a sensitivity of 20, I gotta be careful, because if I bump the coil on the ground, I'm for sure gonna hear it. I'm definitely getting a disturbance in the threshold, but also getting a slight beep. So coil control, super important. You want as high a sensitivity as you can go without getting a lot of false signals, but you gotta know if you don't have coil control and bump the ground, you're gonna get a tone every time you bump the ground for sure. All right, I've gone slowly over about 5 square feet there. Now I'm gonna switch my position and go over it slowly again, 90 degrees different. Now, I know gold has come from here. So I'm spending a bit more time to go slower and go over it in both directions than if I didn't know gold had been found right here. I'm slowing down in that spot, checking to see if I've got my shaft secure and my cable tight, because I'm getting a nice little disturbance in the threshold tone. I don't think I'm bumping anything with the coil, so I'm just checking those little things to see if there's a reason, or if maybe I want to get a scoop there and check. I think it's nothing, but it's worth checking. The first thing I'm gonna do is turn the horseshoe on. That gets me a bit more power. When I'm checking, I'm swinging both ways. Hey, it was worth checking. Didn't get anything though. It's okay. All right, you guys, I'm getting a very faint signal again. I'll take the camera and show you where. And then if I poke around and it seems like it gets better, I'll take the headphones off and see if I can let you guys hear it. And we'll see if maybe we get lucky. There's some birdshot around here too. You guys know that lead rings up pretty darn similar to gold, but digging in this old material down here, unless somebody shot in here this year or last year, I've been ringing up some 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Those are little hot rocks and getting some fault signals. But if I ring up a good beep, chances are it might be a little piece of gold instead of a little piece of lead. Let's have a look down in there. All right, so this white clay's the bottom layer. You can see people have dug way down into it. So here's a layer of tellings. Some people think this is old glacial material. My take is it's tellings, but nonetheless, however this clay layer got here versus this sandy layer on top, that margin right there is a real good place for gold to sit. Now I'm going to swing around in here. You can tell people have dug, but there's a big rock here. There's like a 300-pound rock. Nobody moved it, and you can see it's sitting on some rocks under here. So let me brush away. So clay, 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 that's the tellings layer. Sitting on these gravels. Now I've taken some scoops down here. Didn't get anything, but I keep getting the signal. So I think I'm gonna get out a screwdriver or a tool, see if I can scrape at this. Maybe that signal will fall down in this hole, and hopefully it's not just another phantom one. All right, you guys, still all the same settings as before. I turned off my headphones. I turned the volume way up. Let's see if we're still getting something. Zero, 2, 0, 2 now. Kind of not over here. Oh yeah. Kind of all over. Now this could all be falsing. This red sand has tons of hematite, magnetite, iron in it. Could be falsing, but basically, let's see. First, I'm going to scoop out everything that's loose. Then I'll get the screwdriver and get that stuff that's packed over there, and we'll see if this 012 could give me some gold. All right, trusty scoop. Machine set up. I can't see any numbers, but I'll be able to hear some beeps if I swing back and forth. So let's scrape out the loose stuff. One way. Another way. Now, if there's a nice little chunk of gold, it's gonna beep. But I'm also listening for any falsing, any change in that threshold tone. All right, a little bit more loose stuff to scrape. And then I'm gonna use my fingers or the scoop or something. If you can see right there where the red meets the clay, that could be it. So I'm gonna go for that after I do this last loose stuff. All right, I don't feel like getting out the screwdriver yet, so I'm just gonna scrape at it with a scoop. I know the signal's somewhere close here, so you can see I'm putting the scoop after I test it right down on that little shelf, so I can swing over it again later if I need to. No. Now that's the kind of beep I like, and you'll see that as I swing faster and shake, the beep responds. I don't go over there and look and see what VDI's popping up. I could put the scoop down and swing over top of it, but my guess is
Let me turn the camera off, get in there with my fingers.
Hey, all right, let's see. Maybe we'll be lucky. Maybe there's something in there. Now the beep's coming and going here. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not sure if the signal's in my hand or in the scoop, but any dirt I get rid of, I'm making it in a nice little pile I can swing over later. Chances are these little pieces of gold are so small that unless they settle down to the bottom of the scoop, under the dirt, they might not ring up. Now, I'm a little frustrated, so I'm trying it in my hand. Now, you'll see I've made a mistake here. Right now, I'm like, heck yeah, that piece of gold's in my hand. Oh, is that my shirt sleeve? And darn it, that means that signal, I've thrown it away. So I'm going to have to go back to that little pile of dirt I've been putting on the ground and find it again. That sounds like the same signal right there, but I've got the sensitivity up high. You can tell my hand was making a signal. I'm swinging over to a different spot or two to see if I'm getting false signals everywhere. But I think that signal is right there in the last half a scoopful I dumped out before I got fooled by my hand. Darn it, where is that sucker? I'm about ready to give up, but I'm gonna keep at it. I'm pretty sure I had a signal. I'm pretty sure I found it again in that half scoop I dropped out. I might have to do this for a while, but I'm gonna find what's making that signal. Those beeps you just heard, I'm like, dang it, I'm cranking the sensitivity up to 25. I'm turning the horseshoe on. Have I fooled around with this thing and it's now a ½ inch deep in the dirt and I can't get it? I'm going all in. Maybe. Holy cow, I think I found a little piece. Now I'm about to do something really dumb. I've seen this little piece of gold and I want to get it and show it to you guys. There's a piece of gold in there. Told you I was about to do something really dumb. Only took me like 20 minutes to find it. Right there. Damn it, I dropped it. Oh yeah. Easy come, easy go, they say. It's gonna be another 10 minutes before I find this little piece of gold I dropped. All right, I got him. I put my eyes right down to the ground where I knew I dropped it. It ain't easy finding little pieces of gold, so, Yeah, I'm super psyched I didn't need the detector for finding it. I could eyeball it. Let's check it out. Yeah, by itself, it really screams. Now see if we can focus on it. It's pretty little. Yeah, look at that. By about the size of the head of 2 pins. Yeah. Hey y'all. Well, I also realized I've been chewing gum making this video. My apologies if you don't like the smacking. But yeah, it goes to show how hard it is. I got a bunch of 0, 1, 2 signals in there that maybe they're just faults. Maybe they're tiny little pieces of gold. There's no water over here anymore. I should be packing up buckets full of this dirt to sluice because a lot of these little pieces of gold, they're barely big enough to ring up on the detector. As you saw on that one, I was pretty sure I had it in the scoop, then I wasn't sure. Maybe it was in my hand. I thought it was in my hand. I had actually dumped it on the ground in the tailings, but importantly, like, it was just off camera, but I made sure I put those tailings in a spot I could get it right back. And then when I was excited to show you guys, I had a piece of gold on my finger, and then like I just dropped it right in the dirt. And luckily, it took me about 30 seconds to put my eyeballs like 4 inches away from the dirt. Luckily, I eyeballed it and didn't have to be like, okay, it's somewhere in this 2 or 3 feet of dirt. I'm gonna spend 30 minutes again to find it with a detector. So I found pieces of gold a little bit smaller than that with the Knox 800, usually on bedrock and usually right at the top. So when they're on bedrock and not in dirt that's river deposited that has lots of iron, lots of hematite, lots of magnetite, lots of black sand in it, when it's just little pieces of gold stuck in bedrock, they ring up a little stronger. So I don't even have a scale that'll weigh up that little piece. My guess is it's about 0.01 or 0.02. So I'd say it's about the size of the head of a pin, maybe a little bit bigger, but the Knox will find them. And Colorado nuggets, they're tiny, but I'll tell you, you can find gold nuggets with a metal detector in Colorado. Woohoo! Thanks for joining, guys. Pretty quiet out here at Cache today. Somebody's still digging, getting some buckets. Winter weather's coming. It's kind of past the prime on the leaves, but it is still super nice.